This is section 3.3 in the algebra book, and we are solving multi-step equations. All right, so when we have a multi-step equation, there's two ways to do it. There's a hard way or a long way. I should say it's not hard, it's long. And an easy way, okay? The easy way is to undo the addition and subtraction first. So, in the hard way, we have two operations, basically. The first operation, what is this made up of? Multiplication, and this is? Addition. So, the hard way is to undo the multiplication first. So, if that's 2 times x, what would the inverse of that be? Divide by 2. Divide by 2, divide by 2. And we get, here's where the mistakes happen. We get 2x divided by 2 plus 3 divided by 2 equals 11 divided by 2. Now we've got fractions. We're making it far more complicated. In algebra, we actually try and avoid the fractions. We get rid of our fractions. So now the 2 over 2 cancels, and we're left with 3 over 2. X plus 3 over 2 equals 11 over 2. And now what would I do?
Subtract 3 over 2 from both sides.
We subtract 3 over 2 from both sides, and we are left with 8 over 2, which simplifies to 4. It's a lot of steps. It's not really hard. One mistake that people tend to make when they divide first is they do this. Divide by 2, divide by 2. I get x plus 3 equals 11 over 2. What did I do wrong? Tony. I didn't divide the 2 by the whole side, only part of the side. So this is the wrong way. That's why I don't like that. Whoops. I don't like that way. So the easy way is to undo this addition right here. What's the inverse of plus 3?
Minus 3.
Good. And what am I doing after that? I'm left with 2x equals 8. What do I do next, Fionn?
You divide by 2 on both sides.
And we are left with?
X is equal to 4.
So look at how much less time it takes. So we eat time when we're doing our multiplication first, and it just takes longer. It's not more complicated. You're likely to make a mistake. You know, you never know. So we're going to add our next rule to yesterday's list of rules. Remember we had the rules for solving equations? Number 4 will be, it's easiest to undo adding and subtracting before multiplying and dividing. Now write that rule down and add it to yesterday's rules. All right, now, so in number 1, what would I do first? How about Julia? Subtracting 4, and then we're left with, read the whole thing. 5x equals 35, and the next step, and x equals what? 35 divided by 7. That's okay. All right. So next one looks a little bit different. So you want to go for it? What do I do first? Talk nice and loud so the recording can hear. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What's our new rule?
Oh, you have to
Add.
the negative 4 to both sides when positive.
We're going to add 4 to both sides. Add 4 to both sides. Good.
Okay.
And then it's much easier to. Now what?
You can multiply by 3.
The inverse operation of divided by 3 is multiplying by 3 on both sides. I want to hear you speak the properties of equality. And now we end up with what?
X equals 18.
X equals 18. Now, I want to talk about this problem. So here I have my graph paper, right? Okay, so let's look at how I'm writing this. So if I start with x, I want the division bar to be on the line over 3. I don't want more than one number per box. Am I clear?
Yes.
And if you're on lined paper, same thing's happening. X over 3, no more than one number per line. And then we have equals 6. If it's a whole number, it lines up with the numerator. This is very important. So now I want to get rid of the x, I'm going to be multiplying by 3. Multiply by 3. That's almost like a, that's too, it's so pretty on here, but it just doesn't show up. That is, that's really the same thing as 3 over 1. Now what does that allow me to do? I end up with 3 times x over 3 equals 1x, right? 3 over 3 is 1. I can cross cancel them. I'm left with 1x equals, and then over here I'm left with 18. So are you guys clear on, I don't want you squishing, I want you to get over that habit. Okay? Okay, next one's very sneaky. It's more difficult because it doesn't look like it's wrong when you're done. So Fionn, what would I do?
You subtract 7 from both sides.
Subtracting 7 on both sides. And then?
Which is equal to negative x is equal to 5.
Good.
And then you have to divide both sides by negative 1.
Divide both sides by negative 1. Okay. If I'm doing inverse operations, you're right. I have to divide by negative 1, divide by negative 1, and x equals...
Negative 5.
Now, we do have one other option. Only with negative 1 does this work. If it were negative 2x, it wouldn't work. Only when there's a negative before the variable. That really means the opposite of x equals 5. So I could, by rights, multiply both sides by negative 1, because it's a property of equality, and then I will get rid of that negative, and I get... So I have 2 ways to go about it. There's no right or wrong way. Okay, questions? Okay, you guys try number 4. Pause the recording and do number 4. Okay, so what do we do first? Go, just, what is it?
Jamie.
Jamie Young. Okay, go, Jamie.
I subtract 6 from both sides.
Good.
And then I get 7 equals negative x over 5.
Good.
And then I multiply both sides by negative 5.
Good. I like how you said you multiply both sides by negative 5, because we can multiply by 5, but then we still have to take care of the negative. This way, I'm cross-canceling my 5s, right? And negative times negative makes a positive x. And we end up with x equals
Negative
35. You don't need to write that positive. I'm just trying to emphasize it. Okay, questions? All right. Okay, let's go on. Let's look at distributing. How do you guys feel about this one? Do you want to try it on your own?
Yeah.
Okay. So, who wants to explain what to do on number 5? Okay, Elise?
Good.
Did I get it? Okay. Step 1.
For number 5, you multiply 3 times x, which is 3x, and then 3 times negative 2, which is negative 6, and it equals 17.
Okay, so that's called distributing. We distribute and we get 3x minus 6. To distribute is to multiply. Keep going.
And then you add 6 to both sides,
And?
which is 3x equals 43.
Good.
And then you divide by 3 on both sides, and you get x equals 7 2/3.
Okay, let's just keep it like that. X equals 23 over 3. I'm good with that. Why? Because statistically, if you do one more step, it gives you one more step that you could potentially make a mistake on. So if you have the right answer, don't spend more time trying to get another right answer, right? Because who knows what's going to happen? Adrenaline's pumping when you're taking a test. You're not a normal human being when you're in a stressful situation when taking tests. Okay, so we distributed a 3. Now we're going to distribute what? A negative, or like a -1. I personally am okay with this. Okay? Now, when we distribute the negative, Chloe, you want to talk about what to do?
We do -5.
Good.
And then we do positive x. So
Positive x, good. So
equals
as
9.
excellent.
And then you you add 5.
We're adding 5 because it's a -5. And then we get
X equals 14.
perfect. Now the next problem, we're kind of doing a combination of the last two. We're distributing not only, now there's two operations here. There's multiplication of this -2 to here, or it could be this. What's the first thing you do? Do we do multiplication or we do subtraction? Yes.
You multiply it first. So
Right. So we're distributing first. Very important. Put that in your notes if you don't know it. Distribute first. Okay, and so what do I get, Gracie?
So then the problem becomes 12 minus 2x minus 4 equals 28.
12 minus 2x minus what?
4.
No. Distribute.
Oh.
Distribute.
Oh, plus 4.
No, you're distributing the whole number and its sign is on the left. So this is a -2 that we are distributing. That's why it becomes -2x. -2 times 4 is what?
-8.
Good. And then I have equals 28.
Yeah.
Now we can combine like terms.
Yep.
And that makes what?
That makes 4
Minus 2x equals 28.
Then you subtract 4 from both sides.
Good.
Which is -2x equals 22. Then
No, equals.
equals 24.
Got it.
And then you divide both sides by -2.
And we get.
And you get x equals -12.
Excellent. Okay, questions? All right, next one. There was something similar to this on the test. What are we going to do? Who wants to do this one? Tony?
Multiply by 4 on both sides.
Excellent. Hold on, let me get caught up. Okay, we're going to multiply by 4 on both sides. And then what?
And then subtract.
And what's left? What do I write next first?
5 minus
Equals. Good. 5 minus y equals 40. Remember, you're lining the 4 up with the numerator. And then what? Good. And we're left with -y equals 35. And the last step? Or multiply all terms by -1. And we end up with y equals -35. Okay, questions? All right. So I'm going to do one of these and you'll do one. Let's do number 9. So what do we do first? Yes. Subtracting 10, subtracting 10. I get -3/4 x equals 18. Next step. Multiply by what? Positive or negative? Negative. I need negative times negative makes a positive, right? And we need to multiply by the reciprocal. So I'm multiplying both sides by -4/3. That's over a 1. Goes once, it goes 6 times. And x is equal to what? Okay, I'd like you to do number 10. Pause the recording and do number 10. Okay, go.
First, I added 4 to both sides.
Adding 4 to both sides.
And then I got 5 over 6x is equal to 15. So then I multiply by the reciprocal. So 6 over 5 times 5 over 6x is equal to 15 times 6 over 5. And then I got x is equal to 18.
Right, because we cross cancel. That becomes 1x equals, what'd you say?
18.
Good, perfect. Okay, questions? So just one thing really quick. On number 11, look, if I'm subtracting 9, I'm left with that negative fraction. Remember, we have to do multiply by a negative to get rid of the negative and a 3 over 2. Is everybody clear on that? Okay, let's try a couple more. Okay, so why don't you guys try number 13. Go. Pause the recording, do the... Okay, Noah, go.
Okay, so first you need to distribute the 6.
Okay, distributing the 6.
You would get 6x plus 24.
Good.
Then you distribute the negative 2.
And you get?
Negative 2x plus 14.
Plus 14. Good. So wait, I just want you to notice that when I distribute here, it's negative, right? Negative times positive. But when I distribute here, we're doing negative times negative, and that makes a positive. So I just want you to... Okay, keep going. What's next?
And then you would combine like terms.
And?
You get 4x plus 38 equals 10.
Good. So we're combining 6x and minus 2x is 4x, and 24 plus 14 is 38. Next.
You subtract 38 from both sides.
And
you get 4x equals negative 28.
Good.
And then you divide...
Negative 38. Oh, yeah, negative 28. You're right, right,
And then
right.
you
Sorry.
divide both sides by 4, and you get x equals negative 7.
Okay, excellent. Any questions? Okay. One more. Let's see if you can do it. This is quite a challenger. Pause the recording and try it. All right, so the big hint here is to work from the inside out. Okay, so my hint was work inside out. What did that mean?
So what I did was I distributed the negative
Exactly.
to 2x plus 4.
Good, and that became a...
That becomes x parentheses negative 2x plus 4.
Negative 2x plus 4. I'm going to put that, and I've still got that x, and he said parentheses. Everything else stays the same, 8 minus 4. Now, what everybody wants to do is 8 minus 4. Is that correct? No, because that's addition and subtraction before the multiplication. So what do I do next?
Then you distribute the negative 4
Right.
across everything.
Across into the parenthesis.
Yeah, into the parentheses.
And that becomes?
That becomes negative 4x plus 8x.
Negative 4x plus 8x.
Minus 16.
Minus 16 equals 16, but I can't forget about that 8 here, so I'm going to bring it down. Okay, now let's probably get out of my color and look at real math there.
Wouldn't it be minus 4, not plus 16? Oh, right.
So negative 4x, negative 8, a positive 8x, and positive 16, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
What is this doing? Why did it erase? Oh, I see what it did. So we could have combined like terms. We should have combined. So I didn't see it either. So really what we'd be getting is negative 4x minus plus 8x minus 4. Yeah, that works. So 8x minus 4. And so that simplifies to 4x, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that would make, when I 4x. What am I not doing here? Oh yeah, once I distribute here, it would be the 4x. You're right. So do you understand how it's equivalent? Or did I confuse you guys?
It confused me also.
Okay, so let's do this your way first. I'm going to do it your way over here. So we had 8 minus, and you said 4x. You distributed it in, right? Minus 8x, plus 8x, and then what?
Plus 16.
Plus 16 equals 16.
Yeah, and then you combine like terms.
8, and that becomes
Well, 8 plus 16
plus, oh yeah, 8 plus 16 is what?
is 24.
24, right? That's combining this, and then we have plus 4x equals 16. Now, if I distribute here, I've got 8 plus 4x plus 16 equals 16. And then we have 24 plus the 4x equals 16. Do you see how it works out the same way? So the difference in one is combining the like terms is what the PowerPoint was doing, and then distributing in. You just distributed right away and then combined your like terms. Order is not going to matter on that. Okay, so now we're at the same place. Next step.
Subtract 24 from both sides.
Good. And then we have 4x equals
Negative 8.
divided by 4, divided by 4.
X is equal to negative 2.
Excellent. Okay, questions? All right, that is it. Section 3.3.